it's Laura from Laura's Handcrafted Treats and Treasures. Welcome to or back to my channel. All right, today I have these cute little boxes that we are going to be making, and they're great for little treats and stocking stuffers. And I am using Miss Carolyn's papers in my series of Christmas gift treat ideas series for 2025, and this is her Quilted Christmas Noel, and she has a blue one too, a blue quilted Christmas Noel. Anyway, it'll all be in the description box, and you can go find these papers too. Here we go. Okay, so let's get started. First, I'm going to cut off my white edges as I normally do. You can get 2 out of a digital sheet, and I'm going to show you how I cut it so that I have pieces left over because they will be used. So first I get all of my white edges off because I know if I don't, I'm probably going to like turn it over and then mess it up. All right, and then I'm going to cut, instead of cutting this way at 5 1/4 first, and then getting my 5 1/4 this way, I'm going to go ahead and do my, how did I do that? Let me think. Did I do it that way? Oh, I got 2 smaller pieces. So yes, now I'm going to do this one different. I'm going to show you the ones that I did, but I ended up with the same result. So I'm going to do 5 1/4. I'm going to turn that around. I guess it doesn't matter because of the way we're going to be doing them. And then I want to look for a pattern as well. All right, 5 1/4 and 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. Okay, and then you just end up with this little piece off of one end. So you either have this long piece, or you're gonna, if you do 5 1/4 the other way and then just cut them, you're still gonna end up with 2 pieces like this. So these are gonna come in handy for later. You can leave them long if you need this for something else, or you can cut them down. So I have those, and I've already done some to get us started, all from the same kit. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I have my 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 squares cut out from the Quilted Noel Christmas kit. I've also grabbed some of the Fussy cuts. I'm going to be using some of these, and I have some here with the Grinch. Like, oh my gosh, how cute are those? And there's tons of these Fussy cuts in there. They're great. And as always, everything will be linked in the description box below. And then I'm also going to be using some of the nativity, the ATC nativity circles like I did in the last one. So I'm going to set those aside. And then, if I didn't mention it, this is used with a punch board. I'm sure there's other ways you can use it, like with a ruler and that, and punch your edges, but you're going to see why we need the punch board. All right, so I'm also going to bring in my little recipe card. This is, I just made myself a note. I use this for Reese's or turtles, you know, whatever you can fit in there. And here's all the things that I need to do. So I have to, now on this one, it says follow the score lines, but I actually just follow the 2 1/4 by 3. I'll show you. Sometimes that isn't always the case. If you've ever used these, you have to be very careful that you're following protocol. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm at the 2 1/4, and I'm going to go ahead and punch and score. You can do it either way. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go to the 3 inch, punch and score. Okay. And then I'm going to go again to the 2 1/4, punch and score. And you're just going to continue that all the way around until you have all 4 sides done. And then the direction isn't a really big deal right now. I'm not going to worry about it. But I will tell you a little something when I get around this last corner here. Okay, so when I get to this last corner, I go to the 2 1/4, and I want to look right here and make sure I'm right there. If I have to adjust a little bit of a 1/16 of an inch, that's fine. So I don't punch this one until I'm just over the, like a hair's width over the 2 1/4. So I want to make sure this is gonna square up. That's the only one I really concern myself with, is that gonna, and same for that one. Okay. It's the only one that really matters. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that one. And then while I'm here, this has a corner rounder for your envelopes, if you are making envelopes. So this is one that I also sell at my craft fairs. I always look for a patterned paper. I usually do this out of a scrapbook paper, but I was like, these are so cute that I want to make some out of Miss Carolyn's papers. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything folded. I'm not really going to burnish these down really hard. It's not really necessary. Just need to fold them with my hands. Oh, I got that one a little wonky. Better bring that one back in. There we go. Much better. Much better. All right. Did I get them all? I think I got them all. Okay. Now, at this point, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, which way it goes. Unless you're worried about the back, you know, not folding up and showing a picture. But this, I don't really see any pictures that I'm going to necessarily be worried about. So another thing that I do, I have this block. I just went out to my husband's garage and I got a block of wood, and I'm like, I need this to be a certain height, because I find that when you put these in here, it just helped me sturdy everything. And then sometimes one side is a little bit tighter than the other. Like this one doesn't really, well, it does fold around just as nice. That wasn't folded. So I like to put that in there. And then once I do, I know that this is where I'm going to want to snip. So I'm just going to snip up that side of that little beveled edge, and then just take a little smidgen off. And then I'm going to go that side and take a little smidgen off. And then you're going to flip it to the opposite side and do the same thing. So yeah, this is one of my best sellers. And as you can see, I'm a little bit over on this one, but hopefully it'll turn out okay. And I do have them every year because they're great little stocking stuffers. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my block in there. Did I do this side? Yes, I'm going to put my block in there. And then what I like to do is I usually put the bottom up like this and then fold this over. I just think it looks a little bit neater. Okay, so I'm going to get that in there. And then you want to make sure these little tabs are tucked in too. You don't want those hanging out. So sometimes what I do is sort of get these glued down first. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of glue here. I'm going to fold that over and kind of get that squared up. And then you can do it without the block of wood, but I will tell you this does make life a lot easier. So then I'm just going to come in here, and I'm not going to glue all the way up to that point, because if I do, it's going to end up on my block of wood. And then I'm going to glue that side, and then I'm going to throw, if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm gonna throw some here, and this time I will go up to the point, and then throw some there. And then that way you have it sealed. And then I just pull my block of wood out, and then I have my envelope. All right, so let's move on to how we are going to put a belly band and decorate this. Okay, so earlier in the video, I showed you how to glue one way, but where I glued this down under, I'm going to show you a different way, just because I do want this to come up over the top. So when that comes down, it just looks better. I mean, it doesn't really matter, honestly, but it, you know, it just makes me feel better, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my block. I have them all here ready to go. So I am going to go ahead and take my block. This just helps me get it stuck down. You can do it without it. Oops, I'm going to put it on the other side. You can do it without it, but you just have to play with it a little bit and get it where you want it. So, all right. So then once I get that glued down, now I'm going to glue the little tabs, and then I'm going to glue up in here. Then I'm going to turn this down, and I think I got some here and I didn't want it because that's going to stick to the block. I'm going to turn that down and then fold that one over. Okay? Because that way, when this one turns down, and this is why I like the block, because I can just push on that glue and get it going. All right, so then we're going to be able to fold that down. So now I'm going to show you how I put the belly band on. But first I wanted to mention, so I did this one. I think I did this one on at the beginning of the video, but do you see the different thicknesses? And I wondered why my block wouldn't fit in there, so I just had to do this one by hand. But that's why, because I was off on my measurement. Apparently I had gone off on the 2 1/4 or 3, I don't know which one, but it made it thicker. So yeah, that, make sure you're watching your measurements. All right, so now for the belly band, and I've got all of these cute little fussy cuts here. I'm gonna put my block back in, which was another good reason to have the block. And then I'm gonna wrap it from the back side here to the front. And I don't really measure. It's actually, the measurement is like 3/4 by 7, but make it whatever you want. It's not a precise. Okay, so I had to shut my curtain and shut my door. Furnace came on. Yep, it's a little bit chilly here this morning in Michigan, and that is that. So I'm gonna sort of line this up. I like to line it up on my mat, just so I get it even. So as you can see, I've lined this up, and then I'm just gonna line that up to the back side. And like I said, I just make sure there's a little bit of an even amount on both sides, and then I fold it over, and then fold it over. I used to score them, but it's much easier doing it this way. So see, the 7 inches is a lot. I don't necessarily need that much. In fact, I might take a little bit off of this end. It probably could be 6. All right, so I'm holding it tight. I'm not letting it go. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold that back. I'm gonna put glue here and fold that in, making sure I'm gonna be keeping that straight. And then I'm just gonna put glue on the other side, same way. And I wanna put it on the sides as well. And you're gonna see why in a minute. If you've never done these or seen these before, you already know what we're gonna do here, but if you haven't, so I'm gonna get all of that glued down. Now, when you put your treat in there, this now becomes your closure, okay? And it probably looks a little bit wonky because of the paper, but it's still cute. All right, so now, again, I'm gonna put my block back in there, and then I'm gonna turn this over, and then I think, like, where does that come down at? I think he's gonna go way down to the bottom because I can feel my score line here. And then I think I wanna pop him up. So depending on your story, your storing, or you know, how you're gonna do this, I don't know, I think he'd be cute popped up. So I am gonna get some foam, and then let's get some foam on him. Mr. Grinch, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Put one up there, and then I might have to cut one in half. So let me do this before I take that off there, and put this one on that foot, and then one in the middle. Okay, and these are so cute. So I would go through, again, if I was doing assembly line, I would go through and put all of the belly bands on, and then I would go through and put all of the sentiments or these cute little, so cute. Okay. Oh my gosh, how absolutely adorable is that, you guys? Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Okay, so as you can see, I have others ready to go. And I have some that just have a sentiment on them. I have this, so I'm gonna get these done. We're gonna come back and go through them, and then yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, everyone, here they are. They're all done, cute as ever. And here's some things that you can put in them. You could do a York peppermint patty. You could do a couple of the little crackles. Now you could do some of, come on, get in there, some of the M&Ms. These ones you might have to just fold up a little bit and kind of squish them down in there. You could also use these for like little necklaces and stuff you could put in there. And then, excuse me, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, which is the one that I use for my craft shows, because I do my York in the other pouch. And yeah, there we go. Super, super cute, fun little gift treat to get hand out or put in a stocking stuffer, co-workers, some great ideas. So there you go. I hope you found this fun and interesting. Go make yourself some treat pouches, and I will be back for the next one. Bye.